preseason started for us middle of August. It was good to get the guys back in camp and get ready to roll again. Being one of the first Division III schools that report because of our class schedule and the practice opportunities, we get guys in a few days early, which is good. Defensively, it was great to see our guys. We have an experienced group coming back and getting them back in shape and getting on the field. I'm sure they're all excited about that, and I think we have a chance to have a very excellent team this year, both sides of the football, but mainly speaking defensively right now, it's good. We've got a lot of experience at a lot of different spots. Hopefully we can add a few more depth because it looks like our freshman class is going to be very talented. One of the areas of expectations are high this year is at our defensive front, and we have obviously Nick Gunderson back there, an All-American candidate, and a solid performer for us for 4 years. But also with him, we developed a lot of depth. I don't know how many all-conference guys will have out of that, but we certainly have a lot of depth, guys that have been tested and tried because they played all last year, and guys like Schrader, we've got Kyle, and then we've got Noah Meyer, who played a lot last year when Nick Gunderson was gone. We've got Jimmy Sharp on the outside, Jeff Bowman. We've got a young guy in Griffin Hayes we hadn't seen a lot of time last year that is very talented, and hopefully we can get him in the mix. But our depth is a real plus for us right now. Dave Burns being another as a defensive end. Our depth is important, and I know Gary Foshing, who works with the defensive line, will be getting a lot of those guys in and out and keeping them fresh, and that definitely is one of the real solid parts of our defense, is the fact we have so much depth at that defensive front. One of our real high expectation areas this year is we have a very solid core of starting linebackers coming back, obviously with Ryan Wimmer at middle linebacker, who did everything for us last year as a first-team all-conference guy, and Ethan Ide, who's been a year and a half plus starter. John Stanton, who played quite a bit last year, didn't start early in the year, was a little hurt, but then we got him in the mix as much as we can. He'll see a significant amount of time as a starter at our weak side linebacker. And then Steve Furch is back. 2 years ago was a starter for us, then got hurt, and then was out all last season. So he's back, and now that front four there with our defensive front and those four linebackers really gives us a very experienced group of guys. One of the things we need to work with that is that we have to develop depth there. We've got four linebackers. Everybody else after that is pretty well untested. I think we've got some capable guys, but not as deep in the linebacker core as far as depth as we would be in our defensive front. But our front 3 and 4 are very talented. Getting into the secondary part of the defense, we do have 3 starters back. And Bobby Clint at free safety and Nate Anderson at the strong safety, which are crucial. Those are kind of the quarterbacks out there, kind of directing traffic, and another year of experience with them, and you can already see in them there's a lot more confidence in recognizing formations and coverages and making checks and all those kind of things on the field. So that's a real plus, having extra eyes on the field. Also, Dom Hake at the right corner is back for a 3rd year starting, and he's one of our fastest guys and gives us good cover, and he's gotten better all the time. We did have a little mishap, unfortunately. Justin Nielsen, who's looking great at the other corner, had a freak little twist of his knee in practice and is out for the season. Here's a guy that worked awfully hard to get ready, and ever since his freshman year he's gotten stronger and faster, and he was looking very good, and unfortunately that he'll miss his senior year with that injury. But we do have some young guys we feel that can step in. Adam Weber is a sophomore, looks like will be one of our candidates. Alex Paul is a freshman from Hopkins who's looked very good, maybe our best cover guy completely. And we have a few other guys in the mix. We have a few upperclassmen, and Tom Purnell and a couple other guys, but typically if we're going to go with people that are about the same equal ability, I'm probably going to go with the younger guy. But a guy like Alex is really talented, and so we got to get him in the mix and get him ready. But we're feeling confident about back there. We do have a good amount of depth. We have another good freshman in Brandon Meath. Bobby Fisher is another very good corner freshman. Looking at the new guys in the middle, we got Ian Goldsmith, an all-state player from Moundsview, is looking very good. He's certainly going to be backing up and getting some significant playing time. and maybe when we do some nickel and dime stuff, he can certainly get out there and give us a hand because he's a very aggressive football player. So we're very happy about that. Kevin Wenner from St. Cloud Cathedral has been working at some free safety, another guy that runs very well. And then Luke Invice, who didn't play last year, has also been playing some safety for us, and both free and strong. So it gives us a pretty good amount of depth that we probably didn't have as much of last year. So our new guys have really solidified that, but we still have to come through and get that 4 spot finished up, but it's looking pretty good. One of the very key areas, obviously every game a lot of times is decided by what you do on the special team side of the football. You certainly have to protect the punter. We have to be able to punt the football and get it downfield and all those kind of things, and we have to return it. But we have Russ Glyden coming back he's also our place kicker and kickoff guy, and our punter did a very good job for us last year, and he'll do all that duties again. It's really solid when especially you have a guy who can do both, kick and punt. So you don't take up an extra roster space. You can bring an extra quarterback or lineman or D-back or whatever it might be. So that's always a plus. Some of our return guys, we have transfer Mike Bonage is doing an excellent. He's a wide receiver in the offense, and he's been doing some punt returns along with Alex Powell and Sam Peterson. And on our deep guys in the kickoff returns will be Mike Bonage and Sam Peterson, rotating with some other guys, but those will be the first few guys out there. We got a few other guys that are capable of doing it, but right now those guys are the kind of guys that have come to the forefront. First opponent coming up in our first game, Wisconsin's conference school, River Falls of Wisconsin. There'll be a battle. I mean, they've given us a couple pretty good games the last couple of years. It's going to be a physical team. We know that. All the teams in Nowyak are. They always have good size, and they're fairly athletic. River Falls has been kind of in the bottom part of the league the last few years, but they'll be a solid team. I know last year they beat Stevens Point. I think it was Stevens Point only loss outside of I don't know if they got beat by Whitewater or not in their conference, but they got in the playoffs, and so they're very capable. I do know that their starting quarterback is gone, and their top running back and their top wide receiver are gone, but they do have 3 or 4 offensive linemen back, a very talented tight end who caught some balls against us last year. So I'm sure they'll come at us and give us a heck of a contest because, again, they're physical. They'll be well coached. Their coach has been there a long time, and he's had a lot of success in past years, and it'll be a battle for us. I mean, one of those games. You certainly, if you look past it, and look at maybe what their record was last year, it's a game that could scare you a little bit because they'll be giving us everything, and we'll be playing on their field. It's a grass field, so we don't play on many grass fields as hardly anybody does anymore. But it's a grass field, so that changes a little bit, and hopefully we can go down there and play solid football, and both offensively and defensively we get the turnovers on our side of it and eliminate it on our offensive side of it, and that'll be a challenge for us. These first games, I know they've had a scrimmage already. We don't do that, but they had a scrimmage, and so they've had a little bit of contact already and kind of get some of the bugs out maybe a little bit on what they do. So I'm sure we'll go down to River Falls on this Saturday, and it'll be a battle.